What's good, everybody? We back to the Worthy Network. It's your boy, the Worthy One, not the Two. And today we're going to get into this Joe Rogan situation where he's going at Bibi Netanyahu's son, because of nepotism and thinking that he could speak out of place and thinking that he could talk out of turn. But we have a voice, and not everyone's going to back down from the machine. And so with no further ado, let's get right into it. And as you know, we'll stop throughout this showing and, give some thoughts about it. But other than that, I just wanted to see your thoughts on it. So don't forget to leave some comments in there. Let me know how you feel. Like, subscribe to the network. But for right now, let's get into it.
October 7th was awful. Absolutely.
Obviously.
Terrible attack. But also, what they've done to Gaza is insane.
It's insane.
And if you can't see that, if you can't say that, and your response is, Israel has the right to defend itself. Like, what are you talking about? Against what? Children?
Right.
Against women and children that are getting blown apart? Against aid workers that are getting killed? It's insane. And no one wants to talk about it. And if you do talk about it, you're anti-Semitic, which is so strange. Like, I don't know how they wrangled that.
Joe Rogan has consistently been accurate, correct, and pretty critical of the Israeli government anytime he covers the ongoing, war in the past between the Israelis and Palestinians. And in this case, as you heard him say, he's been pretty critical of the genocide taking place in Gaza. And now, thanks to Benjamin Netanyahu's eldest son, we've learned that Rogan allegedly refused to have Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on his podcast to essentially spew his lies and propaganda. And if this story is confirmed to be true, I commend Joe Rogan for having moral clarity on this. Now, Fox News posted a headline on X reading that Joe Rogan claims Hunter Biden could be president, insists he's more intelligent than most people think. And in response to that, Netanyahu's son, Yair Netanyahu, wrote this. Great wake-up call for conservatives to remember Joe Rogan is not a conservative. He gave platform to every single neo-Nazi anti-Semite on this plant. I guess he meant planet, but he refused to have my father on his show because he knows that he doesn't stand a chance against him. And all those years of anti-Semitic propaganda will go to waste. Is that why Netanyahu refuses interviews with people who actually know what they're talking about? And
now, before I get into this particular pie right here is called the Young Turks, and they do a great job of covering news from a perspective that's not slighted. And what I mean by that is like the media that he's about to get into, who likes to coddle and go around certain things, especially when it comes to certain politicians or certain people in power, prime ministers and presidents, and they don't want to ruffle any feathers. So he goes off. But is Joe Rogan right for not wanting Bibi Netanyahu to be on his podcast? I mean, he does have a right to feel how he feels, and dozens of people feel the same way. I'm not here to go on either side of the issue. I have my own personal beliefs and personal thoughts on everything that's going on, especially with Israel pertaining to Palestine and the greater Israel agenda. So they're about to go off right now, and I'm here for it. So we're watching it together with the reaction. I saw a little bit of it, and I said, wait, let me clip this for right here until I get in the house to be able to watch this with you, so we can see this craziness together. There's a lot of bullshit going on, man. Let's get right back into it.
Instead insists on going on shows like the one hosted by the 30-year-olds who like to call themselves the Nelk Boys. We'll get to that in just a second, but Cenk, thoughts?
Okay, so first off, who the hell are you? You're not a citizen of this country. Oh, so the Nepo baby son of the terrorist Benjamin Netanyahu, who has killed 50 times the civilians of Hamas, 500 times the children that Hamas killed, would demand that Rogan sit down and be lectured to by the prime minister of a different government. Oh, are you demanding it? And are you calling him an anti-Semite because you think that'll work and that'll scare Rogan or any of us? Brother, you missed the memo. We don't give a crap anymore. We don't give a damn who you call an anti-Semite. That might work with your buddies in mainstream media who do your propaganda and who run scared of little bitches like you. But you and your terrorist father will be given no quarters by any real media in this country. I'm not talking about the milk boys milking Netanyahu on camera. I'm not talking about mainstream media who will ask him, oh, can you please tell us who the anti-Semites are so we could fire them for opposing a genocide? I mean, you're only starving children to death, right? But beloved Israel, how much more money can we give you? Hey, Yair, or whatever your stupid name is, okay? We don't owe you anything. Israel has taken over $300 billion from America. You owe us. Where's my $300 billion? I want it back. You're using our money to starve children to death and have killed 59,000 at a bare minimum, 20,000 children at a bare minimum? And you think you could order us around? Hey, Rogan, sit down and be lectured to. And I'm sure Theo Von, Tim Dillon, all of us, right? Oh, we are the great Israelis, and you must follow our orders. Guess what, head? We're not following your orders. No one's following your orders anymore, other than the coward, corrupt politicians and the coward, corrupt mainstream media. For the rest of us, no quarter given. And yes, I would love to have Benjamin Netanyahu on the Young Turks. We're very happy to give him a fair interview. Okay, come on this show. And hey, if Netanyahu can defend Israel's actions on the Young Turks, he'll have done something interesting and it'll be noteworthy. That would be a real interview, okay? But if you want to go on and get milked by a bunch of weak soy boys, that's up to you, man. Okay, but none of us men and women of character and moral integrity are interested in your terrorist propaganda.
Now, the Nelk boys were not as discerning as Joe Rogan is and did host Benjamin Netanyahu on their platform, where he proceeded to engage in the same lies and propaganda that you would expect from a war criminal. And if you didn't manage to catch any of that, here is a snippet from the Full Send podcast.
And it's important to get into this because what they're saying is partially true, right, and mostly true, right? To have Netanyahu on these platforms, spreading his message, getting his voice heard and getting out there, is something that not everybody wants. Now listen, people might fall on either side of this issue, but the fact remains that there are many people dead, thousands of children dead because of this. And us over here, we're frankly tired of questioning what do they have against us, or what is the aim for us to continue to give Israel billions and billions of dollars, support our army and access to everything that we have. So it's a continuing question that bothers people, and now people are starting to not only, I don't want to say wake up, but people are starting to question the policies that we have in place to figure out why we're so intertwined with Israel as it pertains to the devastation and pain and the famine and starvation and people dying and the continuation of it. It is crazy, and it gets a lot crazier. So let's continue on.
Why do they say Israel's like starving the people of Gaza?
Well, because we're trying to get the food in, and we let food trucks in, and guess what happens when we let them in? Hamas steals the food, takes the good chunk for itself. Then they jack up the prices, and then they sell the food to its population, to its hungry population, if they give them at all. And then use the money that they take from their own people to recruit more killers into their terror machine.
In a piece published over the weekend by the New York Times titled "No Proof Hamas Routinely Stole UN Aid," Israeli military officials say. You literally have Israeli military officials admitting that the UN distribution of humanitarian aid was not stolen by Hamas. There was no evidence of that. It's a completely made up story to justify the intentional starvation of the Palestinian people. Jane.
Yeah, and so now everybody's catching on. And by the way, same New York Times story, US intelligence confirms Hamas was not stealing the food from the United Nations delivery. So that was 100% lie that Netanyahu just told the milk boys, and the milk boys went on to milk him afterwards and did nothing to object to what Netanyahu was saying, other than asking him if he goes to Burger King or McDonald's. Okay, so look, that's what. But honestly, really, is there any difference between CNN and the milk boys?
Not really.
The New York Times and the milk boys.
Let's be fair, because look, I hear what you're saying about CNN, and there have been plenty of segments where they provide cover for Israel. However, those segments with Jeremy Diamond on the ground, Clarissa Ward has done excellent
what's
reporting.
amazing? So you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Jeremy Diamond, Clarissa Ward. By the way, Trey Yingst on Fox News. Great. So we give credit where credit is due, okay? But notice they're all on the ground.
They are, exactly.
Because just like Colonel Aguilar that we showed you the video of in the last segment. Green Beret goes there to give food, and he's like, oh my God, the Israelis are murdering the starving people waiting in line for food. They're just shooting at them with tanks and bullets. Everyone on the ground is horrified because you're walking into a dystopian, like literal genocide in live action.
And
it's the most
what you
horrific
won't
thing
see.
they've ever seen.
You won't
They
see
come
this on
back
TV.
traumatized and scarred. But the ones that are comfortable in their studios, they'll hear that from Clarissa Ward or Jeremy. Oh, interesting, fascinating. So they're all the children are being murdered. And up next, Israel's great and deserves $30 billion. Like they forget it instantly. And 90% of their coverage is tilted completely towards Israel. And like Arabs and Palestinians are called terrorists 24/7. The Israelis are never called terrorists, even when they kill 50 times or more, right? There's no end to it. Okay, so, but the tide is turning, and that's why Nepo Baby is in a panic. And he's like, oh, you have to let my dad do the propaganda. Oh, anti-Semite, anti-Semite. You loser, no one cares, okay? We all know that that's propaganda #1, to defend Israel, commit war crimes, and then call the entire rest of the world anti-Semites. Oh, they would love us murdering babies if they didn't hate Jews. They're the hateful ones, not us, okay? Absurd, all right, so why is everything breaking down? Because of online media, because of social media, because of podcasters, and that is why they're upset. How much is it breaking down? Guys, the top rabbi in the country, meaning the rabbi who represents the biggest Jewish denomination in America, already put an op-ed in the New York Times saying, what are we doing here? We gotta stop. This is not we, Israel has to stop. This is too much, this is crazy. The top Holocaust expert in the country, who is an Israeli American that served in the IDF, says, oh my God, this is definitely a genocide. Textbook genocide. This is a horrific moral blemish on Israel, and one that might not be able to be removed, okay? Former prime ministers of Israel, 2 of them have called it a genocide. Ehud Omer, a former prime minister of Israel, is saying Gaza is a concentration camp. And that is true, it is a concentration camp, okay? And finally, now, what people are doing is going, wait a minute, has Israel been doing something along these lines the entire time? And people are beginning to go, wait, what happened in 1948? Because we were told the Palestinians went for a picnic and didn't come back. And then the meanie Arabs attacked this poor little country. When now you realize the actual history of it, and now everybody's looking into the history of it, anywhere between 750,000, but if you count the children that had not been registered yet, up to 2.5 million Palestinians were driven from their homes.
It's important to get this
Palestinians were
message out.
massacred and their dead bodies paraded around town until everyone ran for safety.
It's important to get
That's
this
why it's called the Nakba, the catastrophe. So that's now what people, and then they look at 1967 and they're like, wait, I was told that Israel was attacked by the mean, terrible, terrorist Muslim Arabs. But it turns out, no, Israel attacked in 1967. They started that war and they attacked all of their enemies and destroyed their air forces before they even got up off the ground, because they weren't gonna get up off the ground. It was a military attack by Israel. Now Israel's attacked 5 of its neighbors in this conflict and the West Bank and Gaza Strip. And people are beginning to realize, oh, Israel is not a special ally. Israel has not helped us at all. In fact, they've created up to 2 billion Muslim enemies for no reason at all. Okay, for no reason, no benefit at all to us. And on top of that, they've taken at a bare minimum $311 billion in adjusted inflation dollars from the US. Wait a minute, is this all propaganda? That they took $300 billion off of us and
Keep
we
taking money.
help them commit all these war crimes, attack all their neighbors, take more and more land, and they're using us as the suckers? And now that people have started to wake up to that, that's why Netanyahu's like, oh, wait, maybe we should allow a little bit of food into Gaza. Maybe I'll allow some people to airdrop food into this population I starved. 147 people dead already from starvation, 88 of them children. Okay, 6-week-old killed, 4-week-old baby girl. I'm sorry, a 4-pound baby girl. So they're starting to realize, we might have gone too far.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's why the panic has begun in those circles, and I'm here for it. We should send them $0, and the next thing we do is we should demand a $300 billion check back from Israel. Why?
All right, man. So let's get into this. I wanted us to make sure that we were watching this just to put eyes on to the subject of what's really going on, man. Since Israel has been formed in 1948, they've attacked like quite a few countries, and most of these countries they're attacking doesn't even have plans on attacking Israel, but rather than protecting themselves from the threat of Israel. Israel attacked Lebanon, Yemen, Iran, Iraq, Syria, Jordan, Egypt, just to name a few. They've occupied what was Palestine since 1948 and created Gaza and the West Bank. And it's ultimately like a concentration camp, like he was saying, where they still even control the area within that territory where the Palestinians now are forced to live. And with this greater Israel project that it looks like Netanyahu is on, along with Trump, with their goal of having a beachfront resorts and things like that in the area where the Palestinians are now living, it makes it look like they're committing all-out genocide. And it's crazy, man. It's crazy that we're just watching it right before our eyes, and people have not had questions pertaining to this subject. So to see so much light on it is the reason why I wanted to bring this to the forefront. You know, it's a lot going on. Excuse me. And it's a lot of information to take in, and sometimes it's awful to watch. You see and you hear how many people are dying, and yes, casualties are a part of war, but not wars that are being perpetrated by people who want to make beachfront properties where people live in order to say that this area matches up with what's in the Bible, this Holy Land where Israelis live. And like I said, this podcast is not fully about that. Here on the Worthy Network, I want to talk about whatever I want to talk about, and I like to focus on many different topics, and I want the freedom to be able to do that. So I thank you guys for being patient with me, and as my followers grow, as my subscribers grow, add your input, add it in, talk to me, let me know how you're feeling. Sorry about that. Let me know how you're feeling, especially when you're watching these videos, and let me know how they make you feel. It always empowers me to come on here and let you guys see what I'm seeing, some of the things and articles that I'm reading about and learning about, because in all actuality, I'm learning as I go too. Some of this stuff I just can't stand. And I refuse to sit here and watch and gain information and not have questions or not wonder why our government is so tied up or hands are tied because of certain countries or other countries having their hand in the pot and having our politicians by the balls, basically. So it means a lot to me to have you here. Once again, sorry about that. It means a lot for me to have you here on the Worthy Network. I'm into so many different things, man. I'm a Gemini, so I like UFOs. I like nature and politics and so many other things, sports and things like that. And I'm trying to think about, you know, how I want to bring the message to you guys, what I'm saying. And I think it's just going to be from empowerment. So it's going to be information, empowerment, motivation. That's what you'll get from me here at the Worthy Network. Each and every day, I'll try to upload as many videos as possible. If not, you can catch my shorts or reels as I continue to develop them in those areas. For now, thank you for your time. Like I said in the beginning of this video, make sure that you chime in, give it a like, a thumbs up. If you don't agree, it's cool. I'm here for the people who don't like it either, who don't like the information or what they're perceiving to be certain information that might not be factual. School me. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what's really going on, because right now we have questions. Until then, it's the one. The worthy one, not the two. And, you know, I'm always going to be worthy. And other than that, man, we'll catch up with you tomorrow.